Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from rSpace. 6 months ago, I was cheated on after 6 years together. How to get past my trust issues with others. I'm going to try to make a long story as short as possible, but please bear with me. My ex and I were together for 6 years. Around 5 of that was happy, but shortly before COVID, multiple problems began to occur. She hurt her back, lost her job, due to being unable to perform it with injury, wrecked her car. I tried to support her emotionally, and did support her financially. We both used weed occasionally prior to this, but she got to the point after her injury where anytime she was unhappy to the smallest degree, she would vape and take her pain meds for her back. I tried to talk to her about it. She would say I was right, but never stopped or cut back. Over the course of the year, she became more and more closed off. In February, I started suspecting something was up after overhearing a chat where she had gone to another room on the other side of the house to take a call. I asked her about it, but she said she was offended I'd even think she would cheat. I came to find out over the next few weeks she was cheating with 2 different men and planned on a third. The third was planned after I found out about the first 2 and after we had agreed to work on our relationship. When we had agreed to work on things, I cried and couldn't sleep the first week. She told me this was abusive because I was keeping her up. Things still hadn't felt right and I snooped on her phone. I normally never did this, but I had become a paranoid mess. I found a conversation initiated by her to a man where she asked him if he wanted to have sex. He said, "Aren't you with what's-his-face?" And she said, "It never stopped me before," with a winky face. I kicked her out, but over the next couple of months we attempted, unintentionally at first, to reconcile. We got together once or twice a week and talked. However, one day, I told her she was beautiful, and she said she knew because she had 1,400 likes on Tinder, throwing it in my face. I told her, I'm not one of the 1,400 guys just looking for sex. I'm someone who told you that daily for 6 years, and if you can't understand the difference, that's on you. I ended up giving her a final date to have all of her stuff out. The final date is the 3-month point of me kicking her out. Honestly, I think I gave her so many chances not just because I wanted to be with her, but because I needed it to be a mistake. I needed to know she cared about my pain and needed the damage minimized, not realizing at the time that it wasn't possible. I'm on month 6 now. While I still think about her, more often than I'd like, my biggest issue isn't in thinking about her, but in rather how I treat other people. I've realized I've lost trust, faith in people, not just romantically, but personally as well. I hear a friend is in a relationship and is happy, I immediately assume one of them is a monster in disguise. A friend disagrees with something I say, suddenly instead of conversation, I feel personally attacked. How do I stop treating the people who didn't hurt me, the people who have been here for me, as if they are the ones I can't trust? How do I look at women and not treat them as if they're my ex? They did nothing to deserve my prejudice, and I feel guilty for judging them. How do I fix myself and take ownership of my new faults so I can fix them? I'm nowhere near ready to date. The thought of being with another person disgusts me right now. However, I've thought about going on dating apps and saying I don't want anything romantic, but to spend time with someone else who needs to heal. Then I think, well, no one would say yes, and even if they did, I just made myself a target for those looking to use me. Update. It's been 6 months since D-Day and 3 since I gave up on the relationship. I've been steadily doing better, especially the last few weeks. However, this last week my ex texted me asking to see the dog. A day or 2 later she told me that she missed me and the dog and missed coming home and sharing her day with me. I told her she chose this path and that as much as I wanted to at the start, I eventually realized I had no control over the path that was taken. For months I gave her the option of going no contact with the 3 affair partners, and she would initially say she would, then admit that she wasn't no contact again. I am distraught because I know the reality. She will not be faithful. This won't get better because she will never commit. I came to terms with that long ago. The thing I can't come to terms with is that she's willing to manipulate me after 6 years together. She's doing this hot and cold BS rather than just stating who she is and what she wants. Whatever it is that she wants doesn't matter to me as I've committed to a course, and nothing short of a long committed action from her would give me pause in that course. Yet, she still just won't be honest with me. Why hold so tightly to clearly pointless lies? The relationship is long over. I've made it clear each time it comes up what her actions have been, what they caused, the chances she was given, and the path she chose. Yet she still wants to screw with me. I just want some frickin' honesty. I don't care if she's a frickin' reptilian from the planet Quanta. I just want the truth. What the truth is doesn't matter, because worst case has come and gone. End rant. Update. I went no contact with my ex today. I was done getting led on and lied to by my ex. Done being a second choice. Done being a backup plan. Done watching out for her when she doesn't watch out for me. Today, she did something that was the final straw, and I messaged her letting her know it was insulting. Shortly after I let her know she's been blocked on all platforms and to not attempt to contact me. I also let her know that if she attempts to have mutual friends or family contact with me on her behalf, then they will be blocked too. I am done. I am better than this. I deserve far more. I will not put up with it any longer. She got 6 months for 6 years of love, and that was far too much. I won't lie, it was hard, but I won't accept this any longer. I deserve to be put first. No contact 2-week update. It's been a hard 2 weeks since I went no contact with my ex. After 3 months of a mix of trying to work things out, followed by 3 months of acceptance, I realized she didn't care for me as a person. I don't know what everyone else's experiences have been like at this point, but hopefully there's some light at the end of the tunnel for mine. Overall, every day has been different and yet the same. Every day I think about contacting her, and part of me wishes she'd contact me. I won't, but it's weird talking to someone every day for 6 years and then just not. I'm tired, worn down, and I know I need to rebuild myself, and I had started, but it all feels so pointless. If I make myself better, I make myself a target, and if I don't, then, well, I don't make myself better. It feels like I'll lose either way. Feelings towards her. I don't trust her at all. I don't believe she cares for me at all. I sometimes find myself wishing things had been different still, but also understanding the reality that they aren't and won't be. That said, I don't want anything negative to happen to her. While it isn't an excuse, I honestly think her childhood trauma screwed her up. She was raped repeatedly over a long period by her grandfather, and is a part of all this. It doesn't make it okay, but I hope one day she figures it out or works through it, so that she doesn't just repeat these patterns. I can tell she's hurt herself too here, and that she has spiraled hard. I know I shouldn't care, but occasionally my mind wanders and I do think about it. That said, in the end, she put herself in this position and is on her own. Dreams. I've been having dreams the last couple months where her or other people I'm close to were lying to and trying to hurt me. However, this week, dreams changed, and when I sleep, I dream of her next to me in bed, her arm around me, head on my chest, and this reality all being the dream. This makes waking up hard and makes sleeping off-putting. People. Even when I'm around people, I either feel alone or I feel trapped. I find every conversation to be taxing. I feel like I don't connect with anyone. I try and know they're willing, but I still feel like there's a barrier. Dating. I haven't been able to bring myself to date as I really don't want to. I just don't trust other people. And I don't feel like I can connect to even friends right now, let alone anything romantic. I don't see what another person can offer me at this point that I can't offer myself. Motivation, energy. I can't find motivation. I feel locked in place. Where at the start of all this, I had convinced myself to go out and take walks every day, to reach out to old friends, to listen to books, to do anything. Now I feel trapped in routine. I can't bring myself to make even small changes. I need to have music or a show on. I can't sit in silence. I can't bring myself to get a therapist, and I don't even know why because I want to. I just can't. I literally feel trapped in my own head. Memory. My normal crap memory is even crappier lately. I feel unable to focus on anything, and the things I do focus on, I forget quickly. After 2 weeks. I find my day-to-day life easier. I don't feel the strong emotional swings I felt when I was in contact with her. I feel more rational, more logical. Every day it gets easier to stay no contact, and yet I don't feel any stronger. I feel less able. I'm hoping this is temporary and that in a few more weeks I will feel some more meaningful progress. Update. You are not the problem. You are not why this happened. Cheating has nothing to do with who the partner is and has everything to do with who the cheater is as a person. They make the choice and it's one of morals. The partner could be mean, they could be kind, they could be poor, they could be rich, they could be ugly, they could be beautiful beyond belief. The cheater will still cheat. They will find a way to rationalize it to themselves. Because to cheat, you have to be a liar, a betrayer, a coward, a manipulator, a user. You have to disregard the well-being of another person that trusts you to consider it. At the core, they are selfish and they fear the risk of actually committing to a partner, of actually being in a position the partner is in where they could get used. It's a get before you're got mentality, They don't view a partner as an extension of them. They view them as a tool to get what they want. There is no respect. Something inside them is unfulfilled, broken, etc. You cannot fix that for them. It has to be something they choose to fix in themselves, and it will not be quick if it happens at all. The cheater does what they do because of who they are, and nothing the partner is or does can change that one way or another. I say this as a man who, approximately 14 months ago, found out his partner of 6 years was cheating. A man who spiraled into a year of depression and has slowly been pulling himself up. One who felt nothing but pain and sadness for approximately 6 months, and who continued to feel it mixed with other emotions past that. Of everything I've learned this year plus, going over every second of my relationship with a fine-tooth comb, I've learned this. Nothing you do or did could have controlled their actions or choices. They did what they did because of who they are. They are who they are because of the choices they decide to make. It does get better. You're not alone, even if it feels like it. Our first reaction comes from Basic Advance 7627. It is a pain that no one can imagine if they have never been there. I'm also about 1+ years out, and now I only break down a couple times a month. However, I'm pretty depressed even though I've moved on. It's hard to stop loving someone after 27 years of marriage and they stopped loving you. It takes lots of time and patience with yourself. Our next contribution comes from 7 Lies Cubed. Infidelity shatters so many things in the betrayed. Trust, feeling safe, and our self-worth take the biggest hit with betrayal. Anyone who is betrayed needs to internalize the message you said. It's not your fault. Keep saying that over and over until it sinks in. I'm 3 years out and remind myself every day, it's not your fault. It was nothing you as the betrayed lacked, did, or didn't do that led the cheater to cheat. It's all about what the cheater lacks. Good character, moral compass, integrity, honesty, decency, impulse control, boundaries, care or concern about their partner and their relationship, and empathy, among other things. The cheaters were never good enough for any of us. We were always more than enough. You can shine light into a black hole, but there will only be darkness. That darkness is the void within the cheater. Shine your light elsewhere, starting with yourself. One more comment from Rivers11. Thanks for this. I'm going through this too and it hurts like a mofo. 1 step forward, 2 steps back some days. Looking forward to being happy again. Moving on. How did you find out about the affair and what was their reaction to you finding out? CDN JMoff chimes in first. First time she left her emails open on the computer, but I couldn't prove more than they were having an emotional affair. She would only admit to what I could prove. Classic trickle truth. Forgave, went to counseling, etc. 5 years later, was repairing daughter's iPad screen and saw iPhoto had made a collage of your photos. And although it was a tiny notification with 4 super tiny photos, it looked like someone in their underwear. And my daughter was only 7, so I knew it wasn't her. Clicked on the notification, and it was the ex-wife. She had logged into the kids' iPad so they could download games and didn't log out. So they all had access to her saved photos through the cloud. Luckily, she had taken screenshots of some of her chats with men, so it saved them as a photo. I saved everything, acted concerned that something was wrong in our relationship. Of course she lied, so I showed her a little proof. She admitted to it, then I showed more. She again was trickle-truthing, but I just kept showing more and more. Divorced now. Next answer from FineCake1205. I looked at her phone and saw the texts. She freaked out, accused me of hacking her phone, and threatened me with a felony. She sucks. Heartbroken 1997's answer goes like this. Checked his phone while he was in the shower. Saw his young employee's love text to him, how she couldn't wait to be back in his arms. Opened the door asking him what the F, and he ended up chasing and physically accosting me to get the phone out of my hands. This was after spending a little over a month in couples therapy where he swore there was no one else. His excuse about the texts was she sent that because he gives the best hugs. What a fat joke of a human. The next answer comes from Are the Sunshine of My Life. OMG, this is exactly my story, but her text said, Can't wait to kiss your face. But he laughed and said, Yep, I'm screwing her. But was so drunk, he didn't realize how his world was about to fall apart. Next up, Basic Advance 7627 adds in, her phone, and she couldn't care less. 27 years and a family destroyed. Desert Matcha had this to say, I feel like the cheaters almost never confess. I found out because I had a feeling, looked through his phone for the first time in our 5-year relationship, and saw the evidence. It was an emotional affair and not physical, so now we are on the path to reconciliation, which is a long and hard one. It has required a lot of tears and strength, and also therapy. Some days, I wonder if he made the right choice, but ultimately, I think I did, as we are better than we've ever been now. Hopefully, it stays this way. Tetley Biscuit has this short story. First, I saw a message on his phone that he'd left out after a night out, calling him daddy and asking for money for her bills. He lied and told me she was a random woman he'd met in a pub, that his mate had given her his number. He said she was calling him daddy because he was old enough to be his dad. He said he didn't know why she asked him for money. I knew what it looked like and how unlikely his story was, but the other possibility didn't bear thinking about. So a while later, he borrowed my laptop, left himself logged into his email, and boom, I found her phone number, added her on WhatsApp, and saw it was a prostitute business account. I also saw an email he'd sent to another prostitute on an adult worker website. Then, I looked in his bank statements that were always left in the living room. I saw 3 payments to the same name as the woman who'd messaged calling him daddy, on the same date as the texts. There was also multiple payments of the same type to multiple other women's names. At least 4 payments a month. They were only for up to £50 per go, but he was paying them for something. He lied when confronted and said he had only messaged one prostitute out of curiosity. He said he didn't remember the email, that he'd never actually paid for anything, just talked. I didn't tell him I'd looked at his bank statements because his demeanor changed when I said I'd looked at his email, and he said I'd completely broken his trust by doing that. Utter scum. Next response from Comprehensive End 184. One night, he had a heart-to-heart with me about how he was unhappy, which came out of nowhere. And that led to him saying he had feelings for his coworker, but that they were just friends, and it was professional. The next morning, I heard the tail end of his call with the affair partner in hushed tones, talking about how our convo went and that he missed her. We are in the divorce process now. Thank the Lord. One more response from Mayan Ora. My ex was an alcoholic, and she admitted the one I discovered, which was when she was riding around drunk with someone she met at rehab. She first told me she was raped, but the police told me to think about the story a little more. I understood. It turned into several one-night stands that occurred over the years. She felt bad, but never apologized. She didn't fight me in the divorce, and I got the kids and child support.